Well, hello there. Apologies for being slightly late here. Technical problems, of course. Um, Hopefully, they are all under control now. I'm about to. There we go. Yeah, hopefully they're all under control now. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm having certain sound problems. I don't know why. I've got to look at my microphone. Nothing's working the way it should, but hey, that's technology for you, isn't it? Um, Hopefully everyone can see me, hear me, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, hi, welcome to the stream. I'm trying to get everything to work is just a nightmare. So if you can hear me, do let me know in the comments section if there are any other problems. Then yeah, let me know, and I'll do my best to solve them. This stream, I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine. Um, Looking forward to speaking a little bit about that. You have to excuse me. I'm dealing with a mess as well. It was sort of an impromptu stream, but I didn't leave myself quite enough time. I'm having to remove or at least move bits of a Switch controller I've recently had to take apart. So just bear with me. I don't want to lose any pieces. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I'm going to be talking to you guys. So if you guys want to take part in the conversation I'm having with myself and YouTube, and then please leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the like button on the stream. That would really help me out. I hope you guys are all okay. It's been a little while since I've done my own stream. I did appear on Admiral Teague's channel for his live stream, which I think actually did kill my my latest upload. After I did that stream, the video I did on Star Trek Discovery kind of plateaued, and I've found that happens when one video overrides another. It doesn't quite get enough. It just stops getting a bit of attention. But no, that was a fun stream. That was a really good stream. Really good to speak to T. Finally, he's definitely he's definitely worth watching because his channel and what he does on his channel is all to try and save Star Trek as we know it, because we know Star Trek's in trouble. But I also recently I've been watching a lot of Dave Cullen's videos, and he's saying, well, look, the franchises that we love, the franchises that we watch, and everything like that, are pretty much gone now. And I think, let me just reduce this window slightly. I think in some ways he's right. I'm not sure whether we can actually save Star Trek. I'm sorry, I'm still pissed off about my microphone, but I'm not going to mess with it on chat. I'm having to use a reserve microphone. So if I'm not loud enough, do tell me. I shall try and just up the volume a little bit. Let's see if we can see if that does anything. But I'm wondering, I've been sort of pondering whether I think Star Trek is indeed savable. And the answer to that question basically is dependent on whether or not we get different people in, because the same people that are in now are going to keep doing the same thing, and we're not going to get anything different than what we've got. I think Dave's got a point when he says we need to start supporting other other projects. You know, I think that's a good thing. You know, indie projects and trying to get those off the ground to basically reignite the interest in media, in general media. And so I think he's got a point there, but it still doesn't make what has happened to Star Trek right, and it makes us really sort of, it will make us miss Star Trek a lot. Um, I don't think Star Trek in its current format is savable. But I want to talk about past Star Trek, previous Trek, Deep Space Nine specifically, um, because Deep Space Nine became one of my favorite Star Trek shows. And it didn't start out that way. It didn't start out that way. I really didn't enjoy Deep Space Nine when it first came out, and it was I forget when it was now that I went back to Deep Space Nine and started watching it, and it was absolutely phenomenal for a second watch round. Zell, hi mate, how are you? Good to have you here. Dave is right about the fact that our favourite franchises are gone, but they ain't forgotten. Can always be brought back with the right people. Trek in its current state is new Trek. Yeah, yeah, it is. I don't think the people in charge of these franchises really want to keep the franchises. It's weird because you've got the people, you've got the studios, you've got the people who own the IPs, and you've got the people who they hire to write, and they're all just activists at the end of the day. They're all trying to make their own point, which I don't think is their own point from a political, their political stance. And I don't think that's working. I don't think any of it's working. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere. But yeah, Dave's right. It is a fact that they are gone in a sense, but you know, I don't think it means that we should give up. I think it means that if you wanted to keep going, same with with Teague, if we have to keep trying, but we have to also be realistic here. It's probably not coming back the way we remember it. Times change, times move on. But yeah, Deep Space Nine, the subject of the stream. Deep Space Nine, like I said, I didn't enjoy it, and then I saw it on its original run, but it was a BBC run, and it was so different. Now, to draw a parallel, Deep Space Nine was so different to the Next Generation and the original series because it was now a different format in some respects. It was set on a space station. We didn't visit strange new worlds; they came to us, you know, and it was sustainable for a while, but they really needed to get off the station, and they needed a ship, and then obviously going from there with the Defiant. But like I said, to draw a parallel, Deep Space Nine was so drastically different from the Next Generation that I didn't actually enjoy it as much as I did the Next Generation. The Next Generation remains my favourite. When Voyager came out, I really liked it. I was a lot younger back then, and I saw a lot of different Star Trek coming out, but it was all pretty much the same style of storytelling. It was episodic, and there were really good stories. So Deep Space Nine, I went back and gave a second chance. I'm trying to think now. It would have been my 20s. So sort of around the 2003 mark when Enterprise came out. I felt, I went back and did Deep Space Nine. Had all the videos. God knows what's happened to them now, but I also had bought all the DVDs. And my second watch through, I found the first season and second season to be a pretty difficult watch. And it's not until I was much older that I appreciated what they were doing in the first and second season. But now we get the same people over and over again when we're discussing New Trek and what New Trek means to us. It's probably not a lot, but they will always tell you that Star Trek, certainly Star Trek Discovery, this is the one I've heard from most, occasionally Strange New Worlds. If you think it's crap now, then later on down the line you're gonna rewatch it and think, oh, this is amazing. But the difference is Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, they had pretty good stories. Not always, but they had mostly good stories, and they were told in a specific way, in a specific format. The only thing that really changed with Deep Space Nine is the locale and in some ways the format, but not the storytelling format. That was exactly the same. It was a location, and they took a risk. It was a pretty big risk. But I don't think we're going to be watching New Trek thinking it's good in the future. We're not going to be rewatching New Trek. We have to get over the first hurdle of, in fact, rewatching New Trek, which, to be fair, is a bit of a struggle. Even when I'm doing reviews, it's a real struggle to get motivated enough to go back and watch New Trek. None of it's rewatchable, with the exception maybe of the odd episode of season 3 of Picard that you can sort of rewatch and go, okay. But we're not viewing. I can honestly say I don't think I'm going to go back to New Trek in a few years and go, damn, I was wrong about that show. The Discovery was really good, because the quality of the stories is just not there. It doesn't delve deep enough into anything. I will catch up with your chats after I'm done moaning. So I don't think, like I said, to draw a parallel, they're using the Deep Space Nine argument and the Next Gen argument. Oh, well, it didn't sit well with fans, and then it did. So, yes, but it was all the same format. It was just different crew, different people. And we don't have a problem. We've proven time and time again, long term, we don't have a problem with new characters and new stories and new ships and new people. We don't have an issue with that. What we do have an issue with is shockingly poor writing, occasionally bad acting, terrible direction, and additionally awful visual style. Because name a Star Trek show that's bright and optimistic. A new Trek show, beg your pardon. Absolutely ridiculous. You're not going to find one. They're all dark and really dingy, badly lit. Everyone's depressed. Everyone talks about space like it's the most dangerous thing to a human being. Well, obviously it is, but they have this negative view about space, about exploration. It's like, oh, space is cold, dark. You're gonna get, it can take your life at any moment, and it's consistent throughout New Trek. Instead of the wonder, there's just plucking a number out of thin air here. 78 billion people have existed on the planet, born and died and whatever the freaking number is, it doesn't matter. All those people in the past didn't get the opportunity that I do now to go and explore space. It's filled with wonder and excitement and things out there that like Q says, it's filled with wonders, both incredible and gross, or whatever he says. I can't remember, but it's a good it's a good positive outlook on space and space exploration. But New Trek doesn't do that. It doesn't fill you with wonder about what's out there. It's just a second-rate sci-fi concept. It's ridiculous. Zell, I'm good, mate. Keeping well. I sent you a few gifts. Honor of tonight's stream. A few gifts. Okay. DS9 is my favourite show. Cisco is a beep boss. I'm not swearing this early in the stream. Even the Klingon is intimidated. Exactly, yeah, he is. Worf is intimidated by Cisco. Brilliant. M. Brando, without spoilers, can you give me your opinion of Babylon 5 if you have one? I've just finished season 1. Mate, unfortunately, I am behind you on that one. It is something I'm just making my way through Stargate Universe. It's my last Stargate to go through. And then I think I'm going to start Babylon 5. Because it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to sit and watch Babylon 5, but I've never had the time to do it. So now I have, now I can allot a little bit of time, maybe do one episode an evening or one episode a week or whatever. Take me forever to do. But all I know about Babylon 5 is that it's a sci-fi show that's similar to Deep Space Nine in some ways. Yeah. You're enjoying it. That's good. I think there is yes, plagiarism. Yeah, I didn't read that bit. Yeah, there was a bit of controversy about who ripped the idea off who. I didn't they cover it. I think they covered it in that covered that in the what we left behind documentary, which I think I'm going to do a video on. I think that'd be really interesting to do a video on. Zell, DS9 was different, but in the right way. It pushed the boundaries of what Star Trek could be without breaking it. A lot of that came from the setting, which gave a level of freedom that TNG didn't. Yes, they're very, very, very true. But I also found these, people again. I've had this this argument thrown at me before with regards to New Trek and what I've said about New Trek. Oh, it's dark and dingy and everything. And the people said, well, Deep Space Nine was dark and dingy. Yeah, yes, okay, it was sometimes dark and dingy in its visual style. It was pretty. It was a bit of a divert from what we had previously. Get that completely. But it still has Starfleet. Yeah, it has the darker side of Starfleet. But the Federation was still the Federation. It wasn't something notorious or nefarious or xenophobic. The Federation was still the Federation. Yes, they dealt with certain things in certain episodes. Things about sacrificing your freedom for your security from with regards to the state and stuff like that. They've handled all of those things quite well, but it's still an optimistic outlook. The characters are still Starfleet officers. They're still Starfleet, and still members of the Federation. They're not these nihilistic teenage morons. And Brando, Gene's idea of wagon train to the stars became Ira Bear's Gunsmoke of the Stars, where everything happens in Dodge DS9, a central location as opposed to an on the road, but both excellent shows. Yeah, I mean, Deep Space Nine didn't sit well with everybody. It's some people it's their least favorite show, and that's absolutely fine. Everybody has the right to score each Star Trek show as they see fit. But for me, it was weird because, like I said, my opinion changed. I didn't like Deep Space Nine when I first saw it, but as I grew older, it became one of my favourites. In fact, it became my favourite. Matthew Ross, hi mate, you're alright. There's a story in Discovery. No, there's a series of unfortunate events that culminate into a shit show. I'm going to try not to knock my camera cable here because it's a little delicate. Yeah, it culminated into a shit show. I'm swearing on my stream. But yeah, it doesn't have a story. It's just, oh, it's ridiculous. Oh wait, it's about feelings and tears and how great someone is. Well, we all know who that someone is, don't we? And Brando, Old Trek had some horrible episodes, but it's well, next week will be better. Yeah, exactly. It was because it was episodic. It was able to experiment. If an episode didn't work, you were able to right the ship very quickly. You had the following episode. And to be honest with you, if the episodes that were poorly received were written by a particular writer, that particular writer probably wouldn't get very many episodes after that. You know, if the structure of the way these, the authoritative writers structure, if that works, then yeah, they shouldn't really get to write any more episodes. But everybody has bad bad days. Everybody can write piss poor films or television shows, and occasionally YouTubers can make appalling videos. The way New Trek does its stories is it's baked into a whole season arc. It stretches a whole bad episode into a season. Yeah, and it can't recover from that, can it? It really can't. Patrick, how are you, mate? Good to have you here. Loved DS9 from the start. Hated New Trek from the start. Nice, basic, simple. I like that. That's good. Matthew Ross. I'm rewatching TOS for a semi noob in a podcast, and he is amazed how good it is. Yeah, again, the original series. I've got to rewatch it. So everything in New Trek is superficial at best. I'm still writing my short story and spending more time researching than writing because, unlike Trek's current writers, I actually give an F. Oh, mate, yeah, absolutely, definitely. And Brando, but Discovery has a butterfly man. Yeah, weren't they in the last season, the previous season? The butterfly people. God, that was just painful. Absolutely painful. Matthew Ross, hey, Species 10C was so amazing. I mean, 10A and B were clearly wrong, and 10D was all of them, I think. Unnamed Species 10C. What a ridiculous way to label a species, to name a species. Unnamed Species 10C. Unnamed Species 10C. Rather than named, it's unnamed Species 10C. But you've just given it a name. 10C. But it's unnamed. Unnamed. Babylon 5 was hard to get into, but I loved it. I shall definitely have to give that a watch. Bug Body, thank you for commenting. DS9, even in season 1, is better than anything the new shows have. Yeah. Yeah, and that isn't that even with the Move Along Home episode. Alan Marine. You can see each of the actors' faces in that episode. They're just dying a little on the inside. So, getting paid for this. In the DS9 documentary, the writer's room sample was more interesting than anything Discovery or any other shows have too. Yeah, yeah, that was fascinating to watch the process, wasn't it? And they're constructing season 8 of Deep Space Nine. I didn't like where they were going with it, to be fair, but it's nice to see the process. There was one little wokey dokey section. Excuse me, I'm just going to readjust it. There was one wokey dokey section of that documentary that I thought was a little shit, to be fair, and that's when is it Ira Stephen Bear? He was saying that with Deep Space Nine, it was the first show to do this, first show to do that, first show to cast this person or that person. And help with this social issue and that social issue and all of that stuff. And then he retracts it and says, "Oh no, we didn't do that. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough." It's like, you're not making a show to change the world. You're making a show to entertain people, aren't you? You're making a television show to tell good stories and entertain people. And again, it just went, oh, you know, we didn't represent these people or you know, those people. And I think that was a little bit much. That was a little bit much, if I'm honest. And I thought, you know, yeah, you're not really. You had episodes that covered these things when other shows did not. So yeah, you did right. But again, it's that mentality of, oh, you know, you need to do better, Senator. You need to do better, Senator. I'm sorry that New Trek. I'm sorry that New Trek go on about Section 31 way too much. Well, yeah, so much so they're trying to make a spin-off show or movie about it. Section 31 was a superb idea that was absolutely stripped down to its core, and just violated in New Trek. Babylon 5 has a Blu-ray release. Do it UK. Yeah, Alan Moraine. Yeah, Alan Moraine. TNG Season 3, Episode 8, The Price, is pretty much proof of concept episode for Deep Space Nine. There is a wormhole and a resource-poor planet that several species are fighting over. Yeah, absolutely. The Price was a good episode. Little bit. I didn't care for the Devonali Rawl and Councillor Troy romance part of the story. I thought that was pretty stupid. And you look back on it and it's a little sort of, I think the characters in Star Trek fall in love way too quick, or give it up way too easily to random aliens, and humans and betazoids and stuff like that. Writing of DS9 was really good. It had 7-season story arc, while almost every episode was standalone. Now they can't even make a single episode story right. Yeah, good point, Patrick. It did have an overall arc, yeah, which was the premise for the show anyway. But there were a lot of two-parters, and there were a lot of towards the end of Deep Space Nine. Certainly, the sort of the final 5, I think it was. There was a really long-reaching story. I know they had to close it up and everything, but yeah, Matthew Ross. You need to do better, writers. Yeah. Oh God, what a cringy scene that was from an incredibly dull show. So move along home is bloody Shakespeare compared to the adventures of the dysfunctional but diverse group of Wazcocks we have now. Threshold should have got an Oscar, or should get an Oscar. Yeah, Threshold was good. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit. I have been talking a lot, but I'm gonna keep talking. And I'm gonna tell you some of my thoughts on Deep Space Nine. Feel free to comment and share your points of view as well. So Deep Space Nine, it started with season. We saw season 1. I hadn't even heard that Star Trek Deep Space Nine was a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. I got a VHS for Christmas, and it was about volume 10 or something like that. So it was episode 20 and 21 on VHS. I think it was 20 and 21. And I never even heard that there was another Star Trek series coming. That being said, before the internet, or before the internet became every household thing, I didn't have any information to go by. I'd bought Star Trek magazines. I hadn't seen a damn thing about it, and it really took me by surprise when my parents got the VHS, when I got the VHS for Christmas. So I was really skeptical, and I'd also watched those 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine. My mother had just randomly bought me this VHS of DS9, and I hadn't had any previous context for to form an opinion about it at that point. So when I started, started at the beginning, I found the episode Emissary when I first saw it to be quite a dull experience in comparison to the Next Generation. Now Emissary was a weird one because it didn't resonate with me very well, and I didn't really give it a chance. And I was pretty young back then, and you know what it's like being sort of, pre-teenage years. Your head's up in the clouds, and you're not really taking in anything that you're seeing. It's all about at that age, it's all about the bright explosions and the shiny things, and I didn't really absorb the story very well. And when I went back to it and watched it again, a lot older this time round, I thought it was an incredible episode. I thought it was amazing, and I loved the fact that I loved how the wormhole aliens helped Cisco with letting go of what happened with his wife, and the fact that he had, where they say, you exist here. This is where you never left that ship. You never left the Saratoga. You have been stuck in this endless loop of loss, and you've not moved on. And they say this is not linear. You experience linear time, but this is not linear because you are here, and you have trapped yourself. And I didn't really understand when I first watched it the first time round. I didn't really understand what they were doing, what they were saying. I literally went, "Oh, there's the Borg," and wow, it opened with the seeing Wolf 359 and the ship's getting pummeled and everything. And then when I got older, I just started appreciating the story side of it. But Emissary for me is a great opening to Deep Space Nine, a great opening into a show, because we get to explore the Bajorans a little bit more in that first episode. We do throughout the whole series, but in that first episode, phenomenal. And you get to see the results of the Cardassian occupation of Bajor. And they come back awfully quick, don't they? They leave the station in a state of disrepair, and abandon their plans for Bajor and everything, and then they come back as soon as Starfleet sort of takes over the station, and they come back. It's like it was, and then we meet Gul Dukat for the first time, and Gul Dukat, what a villain! He's got to be the most interesting villain who doesn't see himself as a villain in all of Star Trek. He is the greatest villain in denial in Star Trek, I think. Give me your thoughts on that. He's definitely he's so good. The Dominion, the Dominion arc was 6 episodes at the beginning of season 6, and the finale of DS9 was pretty much a 10-part episode. Yeah, it was huge, wasn't it? Absolutely huge. Anyway, yeah, it was annoying at the time because I was buying the VHSs. So when the next VHS would come out, I'd buy that, And I'd be like, I'm slowly getting to the end of this show. Slowly getting to the end of this show. And I had to wait for the next video, or to be able to buy the next video. And they were £15, quid, whatever. And it was expensive, $14.99 for 2 episodes of Star Trek, and I paid for it. I really did. And I got the they say the collectors, the sleeve to hold all 12. Was it 12 or no? All 13 VHSs. It's really bizarre. He's not a villain because of all the good he did, and not one statue in his honor. Yeah, true. DS9 on a station also made it possible to have more recurring characters with good story arcs. It had so many great characters. It did, absolutely. Zell, Ducat isn't in denial. He genuinely believes that he did what he did was good and just. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, probably in denial is the wrong way to put it. Delusional. He like you say, he genuinely thinks he's good, and he thinks that he should be revered for not being as nasty as he could have been, which I always found hilarious. I really did find it hilarious, because Ducat's Twitter X feed is disturbingly hilarious. Really. I really love Ducat. Yeah, same here. Ducat is no different than Stalin or Mao. Yeah, Ducat is just he's an incredible character. He's so cocky as well. He's got such a big ego, and I love the fact that he thinks he can woo Kira, or Kira's like the unobtainable for him, and he does not stop him from trying with Kira. And again, he's delusional if he thinks that he's got a shot with Kira, but again, he can't understand, or he doesn't, maybe he does understand, but he can't grasp that she would never have any feelings for him. I think if he had, I think they probably would have been no more than colleagues. I don't think there'd ever been a friendship there, no matter how nice Ducat was after the fact, or how close she got with Zial and that sort of stuff. I don't think that there would have been anything there. But what was there was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. And I love the fact that the first meeting with Ducat the first episode with Ducat he ends up having to be rescued by Cisco in the first place. And then knowing what we know about the final episodes, you think, okay, yeah, it's stopped the station from being destroyed, but I bet he was regretting saving Ducat several times over. Absolutely brilliant. So then we had episodes where we were being introduced to these characters. We got Chief O'Brien, obviously from the Enterprise. Great underutilized character in the early episodes of the Next Generation. I think he became more of a returning character, or a recurring character in the Next Generation. I think that was really good to see. It was great to bring him over and see more of him being the boss of his own engineering department. He was chief of operations, and we all love the line, "Bloody Cardassians! I've just got the damn thing fixed." I thought it was great. It was great to see Chief O'Brien come in and have a bigger role. It was good. It was really good. And then it was nice to have two characters in the end from the Next Generation when Worf came in as well. I don't think, if I really think about it, I don't think there's a single character on Deep Space Nine in terms of the main cast that I don't like. I like them all because they're all so interesting. O'Brien Must Suffer was an interesting theme. Yeah, a repetitive theme as well. Like let's just put O'Brien through hell every chance we get. Brilliant. Jail, lost daughter, working all the time. Yeah, it wasn't just jail though, was it? It was jail, mental jail. Lost his daughter, knackered shoulder. Um, um, it was. Oh mate, it's just the list is endless. Zal, I love O'Brien. He's everyone's favorite racist uncle. The computer in DS9 had more personality than anyone in New Trek. Yeah, that's a fair point. Also missed the computer being voiced by Major Barrett. I do miss that. It's just something about her voice, isn't there? It's so familiar. But yeah, I don't think there's one character in DS9 I don't like in terms of the ensemble cast of characters. Cisco's a great captain. Kira, I at first she was so abrasive, I didn't like her, but she was. So did the Vols, yeah. But she grew very quickly into someone that you really liked, and she was so fiery. And you turn it, it's you realize why she was so abrasive. And I liked Dax. I didn't like early Dax as much as I did later on. Early Dax was. I don't know. It was something weird about early Dax. She was almost. How can I put this? Snobbish. She was almost snobbish. And yes, Zal, I'll get to that comment in a moment because I completely agree. He was incredible. Kira's hairstyles changed like every 4 episodes. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I didn't like the first hairstyle she had. Because it's weird because she had the Karen cut, didn't she? She had the proper Karen cut, only missing the fringe. And then they shortened the hair for the next episode, and then it became the kind of the short sort of guy haircut, didn't it? She was the Spock of the series. I'd adapt that one to say she was the angry Spock of the series because she was very angry a lot of the time. She had every right to be. She was a well written character and everything that happened to her. But yeah, Kira was great. Odo was interesting. Odo was a fascinating character. And I love the dynamic between him and Quark. The dynamic between him and Quark is absolutely phenomenal. They're like frenemies, aren't they? They've got a lot. They almost respect each other. And they're adversarial, but it's so cool. It's such a cool friendship. It is a friendship, regardless of you know what people think. It is a friendship. Now, you look at the first episode, you look at Emissary, and you look at Nog, and this is the comment I was getting to as well. Nog's arc is absolutely fantastic. You see him in the first episode, and you you see him in the last episode. What a transformation! And the first sort of time round, pre Starfleet Nog is, I find, kind of annoying. He is very hard to understand a lot of his motivations. And then there was it was the one episode where he wants to join Starfleet, and he tells Cisco, I want to join Starfleet. And it was that episode which I absolutely love, and I love the way they explained why he wants to join Starfleet. It's because he just does not want to end up like his father. A failure in obtaining profit, a failure as a Ferengi, because Rom is a failed Ferengi for most of Deep Space Nine. He's constantly trying to be like his brother, but he's failing, and he never lands on his feet. He's just not very good with profit. So Nog not wanting to end up like his father, I thought was superb, and the delivery of that in that episode was absolutely fantastic. I loved it, and I really felt for him. I think, my God, this young man really wants to change. He wants to be. He aspires to be better than he is in a very human kind of, or a very Star Trek human kind of way. But what I loved more is that Nog joining Starfleet and being the success that he is helps Rom to realise that he has a real knack for fixing things, and he can put his talents to good use. And he joins the repair teams. I thought that was really good, and Nog's not only Nog's story arc, not only Nog's story is superb because it's Nog's story, but it's also how Rom's story comes off the back of that. And yeah, Rom can act like the idiot, and he he's so very well played, but he's actually a very smart man. Is Rom? I'm not boring myself. I hope I'm not boring you. I'm just yawning because it's been a long day. So yeah, Rom I thought was a good character, but Nog had the best arc. And Nog has conviction. He really does have conviction at times. He really believes his own morals and what Starfleet teaches him. He takes it seriously. It's like he suddenly grows up. And Aaron Eisenberg was superb as Nog, and he is. If all the people that we've lost in Deep Space Nine, obviously lost Aaron Eisenberg, we've lost Rene Auberjonois. I feel those two losses, and celebrity losses are very obviously very sad, but some you feel more than others. Some you don't feel anything at all because you don't know them. You're sad that a human's passed away, but I was very saddened to hear that they passed, because it was almost like before their time. And they, Sci-Fi Shipyards, how you doing? We're just having a conversation about Deep Space Nine, and I'm basically just telling everybody how much I love it. So yeah, I miss those actors, and I wish I had the chance to meet them both. But Aaron Eisenberg played Nog so well. And in Far Beyond the Stars, obviously, you see them without makeup, without their prosthetics for the first time in the show. And it was surprising because you get to know what these people look like out of makeup, and some of them, their makeup is so heavy you just don't know. It's like when you first see Ethan Phillips out of his Neelix makeup, it's like, I see the face, but it just doesn't look right. It looks weird, doesn't it? But the Ferengi makeup's superb. So yeah, Nog was probably the character to get the biggest arc, and I thought that was really good, really good. Bashir, I think a lot of people thought Bashir was Bashit. Basically, Bashir was just yeah, green, incredibly green and young. And as we found out retroactively later, very smart for a reason. But Bashir, again, so all the characters grew in certain ways, and they all grew as individuals, and they all grew as characters in this universe. And Bashir, it's almost like he did grow up. He became, he was like a child, a very green young man who was looking forward to an adventure, kind of like a young Bilbo Baggins in that sense, going on an adventure to the, to the far reaches of the Federation, frontier medicine and all that. But it's almost like I find out some parallels with Bashir with my own life, because you grew up and you took on responsibilities of adult responsibilities, the responsibilities of the world, life, and all of that. Don't forget to like the stream if you're enjoying this, by the way. If you are still here and you're enjoying it, hit that like button. That would really help me out. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. That is that really is helpful. So yeah, he grew up. He had all this responsibility, and he took it all on. But he still maintained a kind of childish charm. Although he was a mature man, he still had, as Worf says, he plays with toys. There was still that. Thanks for those likes, by the way. Keep them up. It's almost like he plateaued and became a well balanced character. And I feel that if they had kept him the same character and as he was at the beginning, I think we'd want Garrick to strangle him, which moves me very neatly onto Garrick. But I will just read some comments because obviously they're building up now. Sci-Fi Shipyards, word up DM, Danger Man. Yes, I think I read that one. Gutted that they did what they did to Rom in Star Trek Lower Decks. Totally cucked him. I'm not sure I even want to know at this point what they did to Rom. If I'm honest. Lower Decks is just a reference-orama. Yeah, it is. It's an Easter egg show, and because of that, some people think that's enough. It's not enough. It's an Easter egg show. If I want to see Easter eggs, I might as well just watch the bloody show it's based on. Me too, bro. I've actually just finished a rewatch of it. What was I talking about at that point? Was that the rewatch of DS9? Zell. Both Odo and Nog are still around in Star Trek Online. Both act as recorded voice parts, and you can interact with them. Nog is the captain of the USS Chimera. Nice. That'd be nice to Mate, you keep saying about Star Trek Online. I've still not gone back on it. I had to free some space up on PlayStation because that game is massive now. Matthew Ross, sometimes it has humorous bits, but it's just the Star Trek encyclopedia vomit back at us. Yeah. Zell, blue balls Bashir. Well, not that blue. Ask Mrs. Visitor. Ooh. Ooh. Hey Clayton, how you doing? I was a teen when DS9 came on. Bashir was closer in age to me than most of the cast at the time, so he's kind of my favourite at the start. This optimistic, adventure-seeking guy. Yeah, no, I would say that I enjoyed that aspect of him. He was pretty green, but he was looking forward to the adventure in front of him. Who wouldn't at that age? I think it was more. I don't like. I kind of get angry, not angry, but frustrated at naivety. I don't like naivety, and he was, naivety is a natural sort of byproduct of the young. I didn't gel well with Bashir. I did when he started to grow up a little bit. But yeah, I know what I know what you're saying. I do agree. Um, Shipyards. I remember being around 12 when it first came out, and I hated it. Then season 3 came along, and my life changed forever. As soon as the Odyssey blew up and the Diva Fine decloaked for the first time, I had a similar sort of similar thing. Shipyards. Kukulaka, the bear, was the best. A Kukulaka. Um, I I didn't hate Deep Space Nine. I enjoyed what I could from it. I thought it was a pretty poor couple of seasons, season 1 and 2. There were a couple of decent ones. I did enjoy the Q episode, although it was a bit of an awkward shoe-in. There were some good episodes, but there were some pretty lackluster ones. And I agree. Where everything changed as soon as that second episode, the last episode of the second season, as soon as that came round, the show just completely flipped on its end. And I remember watching the first episode of season 3, and I was just like, okay, season 3, Deep Space Nine. We left with the Odyssey being destroyed. We saw a Galaxy class starship get destroyed, which not just blown up because of some anomaly or some time loop or anything like that. It was the Enterprise D, which was another ship called the Odyssey, a sister ship or whatever, same design, same class, get destroyed by an enemy, something we'd not really seen. And the flagship class of starship, the Galaxy class, which the flagship of the Federation gets its ass handed to it, chewed up and spat out into space by this enemy that has no value for life, and just has the run at it. And the question was never answered, was it? If the captain actually did get all the crew, evacuate all non-essential crew to the station before they left. So the captain, I think the captain didn't do it. I think he went with a full complement, and took all his non-essential people, and they all perished, which just made it a lot more impactful. I'm going to need a pee soon. I don't want to fill up on juice. But yeah, it's season 3. I mean, yeah, like I say, I sat there watching the season 3 opener, and the first thing I noticed is sometimes they go exposition heavy, and it's not heavy, but it's obvious exposition, obvious, and they did do that with the first episode. And the dialogue was a bit clumsy, but two things I noticed big time in that first scene. Dax's hair looked stupid. They tried something different. Didn't he work? Didn't he work? And secondly, the com badges changed. I was like, look at the com badges. And they went to the really cool style of com badge. Really cool. And I love that com badge. It is my preferred com badge. I don't know whether I've said this before, but I when I got married, my best man was in, I don't know whether you can see it, the Star Trek pattern there. That was my best man's fabric for his waistcoat, and I had Command Red. I'll see if I can put a picture up on YouTube on a community post. I'll show you. And we wore com badges, and he wore the Next Generation one, and I wore the the Next Generation Delta, and I wore the Deep Space Nine Voyager one because I prefer that one. I think it's so sleek, it's so cool. I loved it, and I was so excited they changed the com badges and updated those. And then this ship comes in and went into the show, and when you first see the Defiant decloak, you only see under the Defiant, so it doesn't give you any real context about what the ship looks like. It's just it decloaks, and you just see the nacelles, don't you? And underneath the ship, and you're thinking, you can't. My eyes didn't really adjust that well to it, and I was wondering, what is that? And then the Defiant, you saw the Defiant, and it was just this incredibly powerful little ship. And I fell in love with that ship. I really fell in love with it. I've got a model of it somewhere that I've got to finish. I fell in love with this ship, and I actually made at school at the time. We had to make an alien spaceship. Of course, I didn't pay any attention to that. I built the Defiant out of cardboard, layered cardboard. So each layer. So I started with the center layer. So if you imagine like decks of corrugated cardboard, each layer got progressively smaller. It looked like something out of Minecraft. And I built this thing, and I was so proud of it. So proud of it at the time. The teacher failed me, but hey, what do you do? She clearly didn't appreciate the aesthetics of the Defiant. But yeah, I loved that ship. It was brilliant. And I was absolutely gutted when they destroyed it so close to the end of the series. Yeah, okay, they replaced it with another ship that was renamed the Defiant, and it was identical to the Defiant. But I loved the Defiant, and the introduction of that ship was fantastic. And what I thought made it extra special was the Romulan cloaking device. So you've got this ship that cloaks. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. And Brando, Voyager wanted to do a Far Beyond the Stars style episode, one of the very best Trek episodes ever. And they come up with 1159, which was way worse than Threshold, Bev's Candle Ghost, Beverly, yeah, and Alan Moraine. 1150, yeah. I mean, this is going to Voyager ever so slightly here for a moment. Yeah, 1159 was an episode that really didn't need to happen, that we didn't really care about. And I'm thinking, what did we gain from that episode? Nothing really. It was pointless. But again, the only reason it stuck with me all this time is because what the episode that came after, which was Relativity, wasn't it? Or was it before? It was around Relativity, and I loved it. Relativity. It's a great episode. Zell, can we take a moment to appreciate that Cisco's method of dealing with the trauma of Wolf 359 was to design a warship? Yeah, the Defiant was awesome. Yeah, it was. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved the pulse phasers, as well as the quantum torpedoes. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Starfish ship heroes. Oh, what? I loved Dax's hair in season 3, episode 1. I was gutted that we never saw it again. Really, you liked the plaited mass of hair. I didn't. I really didn't think it suited her. Welcome, KKGC. I think if YouTube is using different display names, so if I don't recognise your display name, but I know you, I'm very sorry. I'm also getting a little bit bunged up here. Was always daydreamed of her removing that hairpin, shaking her hair loose. Now I get you. Now I understand why you liked it so much. I always thought that of 7 of 9, really, when she took her hair down. I was just like, oh. That was really good. A shipyards, USS Defiant. Also known as Cisco's Pimp Hand. 11:59. Like the title was a minute or more short. Yeah. Remember, KKGC, remember the episode when a Romulan ship's singularity caused O'Brien to time travel, and at the end O'Brien went to Quark and predicted Darbo, and for some reason that makes me so happy. Yeah, it's like the ultimate taunt, isn't it? Because you've got Quark, who is purely profit driven, and that realization in Quark's face. It's why I love Armin Shimmerman as an actor. It's a realization in Quark's face of holy shit, he can tell the future, and then he just goes running after him. So good, so funny. Yeah, I completely agree. Well, if you play Star Trek Online on PC with me, you can fly a Defiant and even get the ship bridge and interior. Mate, I've got to get a PC that will run it. This PC is great for making videos, but I don't think it's... And I've got a graphics card, but my God, it teeters on the edge of unusable. I think I downloaded a demo for a really big... I think it was the Residents of Evil demo for their game that they're making. My God, this PC could just about squeeze some sort of resolution out of it. My God. Clayton, so good to have you here, mate. At first watch, I never predicted that Odo's people would be the founders. It was a great twist. Wasn't that just so true? It was a fucking stupendous twist. And you think he spends so long looking for his people, and it turns out that his people are the founders of a dictatorship that has killed millions. Superb. What great conflict that creates then for Odo, and internal conflict as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The DS9 writers every season. O'Brien must suffer. Patrick, DS9 also has amazing space battle with so many ships. It looks way better than the new copy and paste CGI battles. Yeah. You see, all the battles in Deep Space Nine. Okay, so Deep Space Nine is guilty of something that Star Trek is just guilty of anyway. It's reused footage and reused assets. Okay, so we all know that the Klingon bird of prey that blew up in Generations was the same model and same shot as the Klingon bird of prey blowing up in the undiscovered country. We know that. We're not stupid. We recognise patterns. That's what humans can do. They can recognise patterns, and we see that for what it is. And so, especially towards the end of this series, they got lazy or low budget or whatever you call it, and we saw the same ships exploding in the same way that we've seen 3 seasons previous. We're not stupid. We are smart. We can spot it. But the space battles were absolutely incredible. They were fantastic. Such a wide variety and a wide array of different classes of starship. You had the Galaxy class. You had the was it the Akira class? You had the Excelsior class. You had the Miranda class. You had all these different diversity of ships in Deep Space Nine, and it was phenomenal. Now you compare that to goddamn bastarding motherfucking Star Trek Picard season 1, where they copy and paste the same ship 300 times. And I've said this before, 300 of the same ship that has one flaw, even one flaw, one design flaw that an enemy could exploit. You've got 350 ships all susceptible to the same flaw. All susceptible to the exact same point of attack. Why would you have 300 of the same freaking ship? Makes absolutely no sense. God, ridiculous. But yeah, Deep Space Nine has such a rich variety. And I did say this on the live stream, the Teague's live stream. If you haven't watched that, go watch it on my channel. It's great. He's superb. He's a lot of fun. And he's a great guy to talk to as well. He's very funny. But my favourite ship is the Runabout. I think the Runabouts were superb, and I loved them because they got everything in them that you could consider. Imagine this: you get given a ship, okay? Just you, or you and a companion need a ship. Are you going to go in a shuttle? No, too small, not comfortable. I would want a Runabout because it's got everything that you need. One, it can land anywhere. Two, you can section a house or a habitat off the side of it, and still you be able to use it for a ship. Thirdly, you've got living quarters or reception quarters at the back of the ship. You've got transporters, replicators. You've got all kind of manner of sensors. You've got weapons. It's got a warp core. It's got everything that you need in a ship. I would love to own a Runabout. In fact, some nights, sad as this sounds, I go to sleep thinking about what it would be like to have my own Runabout or build my own Runabout and have all the technology, because you want for nothing. You just need to refuel every now and then. Yes, okay, long-term space flight and space travel would be pretty dire. But yeah, the Runabout, superb. And so many different classes. And it always pained me that they destroyed so many of them. I will be back very shortly. I need a pee. And I'm not joking. I shouldn't drink tea. I really shouldn't. Give me 2 secs. I will be back. The camera will probably just go dark. Just bear with me. I will be back. 2 minutes. And just like that, I'm back. Apologies for that. I don't really like to leave a stream for nature calls, but unfortunately, nature calls, and you have to follow through. But yeah, I absolutely love the Runabout. Superb ship. I watched one episode of Picard, then I subbed to Danger Man. Oh mate, thank you very much for coming and subbing. And my sincerest condolences on having to watch a single episode of Picard. Wow, there's a lot of things I've missed here. Just hold on. Yeah, I loved how in one episode, and this is Clayton. I loved how in one episode that female Cardassian complained to O'Brien about is that Starfleet redundancy? Oh, like redundancy backups. And he says something like, I wouldn't even turn it on if the secondary backups aren't in place. Yeah. Brilliant. I think the first great big ship battle we saw was the Battle of the Amarian Nebula when the Obsidian Order and Tal Shiar got obliterated. Yeah, and that was a great episode, wasn't it? Um, it was so big in scale. Uh, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was the first time we saw a big fleet of ships, and the technology to be able to show that on screen had gotten better, so they were able to do that. But I always thought the first episode was fantastic when we got to see just a little bit more of the Battle of All 359, and that was very well done for its time. Okay, it was limited on budget and limited on effects and everything like that, but I think it was really good. Absolutely brilliant. Having just rewatched, oh yeah, that blew my mind. Captain Picard season 1 copy and paste fleet. Yep, that was awful. I've got 300 of the most badass starship Starfleet has ever made. You really want to go toe to toe with me? What about the rear exhaust port, sir? Well, what about the rear exhaust port? Well, the one that the shields don't cover. And he's still on with the Romulan live. It's like, aim for their rear exhaust ports. The shields aren't covered there. Oh, damn. They all blow up. That'd be hilarious. I wish I could animate. I wish I could animate. I know people that can, Clayton. But I wish I could animate because I'd have so much fun. So much fun. I'd just make skit after skit. Having just rewatched the end of DS9, I think retrospectively that the ending was rushed. Yeah, it did feel rushed. I also didn't like the last episode of Deep Space Nine. I've got to tell you, I didn't like it. It all got over far too quick, and I didn't like the little nostalgic trips that they took. Each character took, and I thought that bit was pretty cheesy. There were elements that I did enjoy, but overall, I thought it wasn't the weakest final episode. I think the weakest is obviously Enterprise because that was terrible, but I don't count that as the final episode. Voyager was pretty bad at a final episode. I didn't really enjoy it, and Deep Space Nine was better than Voyager's ending, but still not great. Obviously, we all know what the best ending was. But yeah, completely. Oh, sorry. That was 300 of the same ship. That was just a magic projection from that magical doodad the Android girl had. Riker was totally bluffing there. I don't know. They all came in. He had a fleet of them. I'm sure that he brought a fleet with him. I don't know. Maybe it was. It could have been the magical doodad. But either way, they had more than. Oh no! No! Sorry, Brando. You're not doing this to me. I am not going back to rewatch it. I don't care. I could be wrong. I just don't care enough to sit through Picard again. Don't do it to me. Seriously, don't do it to me. Ah, God. No, please. No, I don't care. You've not gotten to me. Kidding, mate. That was, yeah. I'm not going back and watching it again. I completely agree about the runabouts. Yes, absolutely. Runabouts are the combis of the galaxy. Chuck on a nice awning on the side. Lovely. Iro, mine would be called the UNSS Winnebago. I like that. Nice. Winnebago. Brando, the Disco and Piker prize battle, where they send out 1,000 shuttles in drone mode fighting 1,000 Section 31 drones, is by far the dumbest thing. Trek. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Dangerman, I will design your perfect runabout for you. Tell me the features you want, and I'll 3D model it for you. We could call it the USS Dangerbout. No way. Well, that would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You know what I think would be great? I think if you had a runabout, a standard cockpit, transporter in the middle, replicators on the side, main door obviously going into the rear quarters. You had a sectioned off sleeping cabin, you know, so you had a door to the side, you had a door, and you could, you got your sleeping cabin, and in the middle you had a comfortable couch and a projector screen that comes down in front of the windows, and you had like just a, it wouldn't need to be a projector, it could just be like a view screen that comes down, and you can watch all your favorite movies. You could just want to sit there, flying through space, watching films. How awesome would that be? And you'd have to have the inclusion of holographic projectors. And if you had a companion, whatever floats your boat in that sense, you could, have fun with a companion. But if not, you have hollow projectors, so you can create a companion. And I'd have to make sure that either Gal Gadot or Scarlett Johansson's patterns were somewhere. If the wife is watching, fuck it, she knows what I'm like. Yeah, that would be awesome. A 3D modelled runabout. Wow, that would be superb. Danger Bout, I like that. KKGC. To be honest, my only complaint of DS9 is that it made the cut a bit too dumb sometimes. Other than that, it's timeless. Yeah, wipeable seats may be necessary. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. Plastic coated furniture. No, kidding. But Cisco got promoted to godhood. No, you're not wrong. He did get promoted to godhood. Corinthian leather, perhaps. Yeah. I heard it's. I hear it's hard to get Nana Visitor's holographic pattern. Yeah, yeah. She's. It's both her and Odo have got keen eyes, haven't they? Corinthian leather, perhaps. Yeah. Clayton, we have to do our top our favourite episodes from Deep Space Nine. We've got to do that episode. We must do that live stream. And we will do one, because we spent the last live stream was we had the intention of doing them all, but we got stuck on the Next Generation. I don't know what I was talking about before I was reading comments. Yeah, laugh out loud. Yeah, there's no way I'm rewatching this Picard season 1 to check if you're right on that one. I'm just going with it was 300 of the same ship, because I'm sure they warped in. Yes to the live stream, maybe over the holidays here when there isn't much going on for me, hopefully. Yes, mate. Yeah, we'll do that. I've got some time off between Christmas and New Year, so yeah, I think we'll do that. That's definitely sounds like a plan. Definitely sounds like a plan. It's whatever. I'll free up time whenever I can. You call the shots on that one. Yeah. What was I saying? Let's go back to talking about the characters, because I don't. Well, the visitor body is easy to get, although it does have Quark's head. Oh well, you don't admire the mantelpiece when stoking the fire. That's true, but I'm fairly certain Quark's face would be very off-putting. Because you'd have to, you'd end up glancing, wouldn't you? You'd just be like, oh. Maybe not then. Isn't Gal Gadot something else? She's absolutely stunning. I don't know her as a person, and to be fair, I don't think you want to know any celebrity as a person, or you're never going to get the chance. But Gal Gadot is something else, isn't she? Ooh. Anyway, moving on to other things. It was originally supposed to be Admiral Sheer effing Hubris warping in with the fleet to save Picard in that finale. Well, Admiral sheer effing hubris can go F herself. You sure it comes with a free Quark mug? Damn dead Quarks and Quarks is fun. Don't run. That fucking mug. I want that mug. I don't care. I want that mug. This is how much it pissed Worf off. It's brilliant, wasn't it? Come to Quarks and Quarks is fun. Don't walk. Every time it tips. If we can get ones that moo, I'm sure we can get ones that sing that little that little skit from Quark. Brilliant. Jesus. Yeah, that'd be funny. There's some good laughs to be had in Deep Space Nine. You know, the Quark himself. Quark was brilliant. He was a great character. The Ferengi characters were really good because they were flawed, but they had their moments. Excuse me. It was brilliant. Trials and Tribulations was the greatest way to honour Trek as a series and allowing DS9 to still do its own thing. Okay, so yeah, you've Mr. Brando, you have raised a very eloquent point there, and it's something I have been wanting to talk about. I haven't thought about doing a video, but I might still do a video. Trials and Tribulations, you're right, was a great way to honour Star Trek, and it was a great celebration of Star Trek. It was really well done, and the way they went about the episode, what they did with the episode was superb. The way they filmed it, the way they dressed, the way that the production values, and the way they inserted that story was fantastic. Now, that's respectful to Star Trek, and the episode was a celebration, not a mockery. There were certain things that it was kind of being self-referential and and mocking, but it wasn't disrespectful. They addressed the difference in the way the Klingons look, and they addressed some of the they translated some of the different era very well, I felt, but it was not disrespectful. It was loving. Maybe, hopefully you agree. I found it was a loving experience, and a very fitting tribute to the original series. Sheer effing reverence. yeah. Sheer effing reverence. Yeah, it was really good episode. So very well done. And I love the Department of Temporal Investigations. There's two things that if you parallel New Trek in that episode, you parallel the way New Trek does it. One is the self-referential nature of that episode, compared to shows like Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, referencing itself and other shows as well. It's the episode's not mocking Star Trek at any point, and New Trek does. But if you've got this episode, and it ties in so very well with the big pardon. Shh. All right, calm down, stupid phone. Yeah, it ties into very well, and they inserted their own story in there really well, with on Darwin, but Department of Temporal Investigations is a department within Starfleet, within the Federation. It looks like they're a civilian-run agency because they don't really dress in uniform. They're kind of like the temporal FBI of Starfleet. In New Trek, they're temporal agents. It's like no, they weren't temporal agents. They were an investigative branch of the Federation. And this is where it starts. It's New Trek gets it so wrong so many times because they have these notions and these little details that they just pull from and miss. It's just it's so pathetic the way they handle things. I have to say I don't normally like the squishy stuff, but the way they brought Odo and Kira together with Vic Fontaine, man, that charmed the hell out of me. It was a great one, wasn't it? What a wonderful, very Star Trek way of doing such a thing. It's brilliant. And remember that episode with old Jake Sisko? Oh, don't do it. Don't mention the Visitor to me. One of the most beautiful episodes of a Star Trek show. To me, it's DS9's Inner Light. It is a beautiful episode. Tony Todd. Oh wow, that guy. Seriously, he can act. And Andrew Robinson's daughter. I mean, he directed the episode, didn't he? And you got Andrew Robinson's daughter. Wow, just wow, she's stunning to look at. She's beautiful, and wow, she's a great actress as well. It is probably one of my favourite episodes of Deep Space Nine of a certain type. Very, very good. Loved it, and I cry as well. It's so moving. Excuse me. It's so moving. So moving. It's like every time Sisko's pulled away, you really feel for Jake. It is phenomenal. Yes, that's the one incredible piece of television. Yeah, phenomenal. One of my favourites. One of my absolute favourites. And talk about your offspring making the ultimate sacrifice for you both. Wow, phenomenal. So many great episodes. Clayton, the Children of Time is when Odo revealed his feelings for Kira. Yeah, because it was, if I recall, it was the Odo that was stranded in the past on a planet when the Defiant crashed. He says, well, anything can happen. I'm just going to tell you how I feel and how past Odo felt as well. And the method of revealing was brilliant because it was mature. Yeah, sorry, I didn't read the rest of that comment. Saving young Odo from needing the courage to tell Nerys. But it's also, I find it quite interesting, really, Clayton, because it's also quite, I'd be quite upset if my future self decided to do something like that that's out of my control. It's the way I feel about someone, and future me decides to take it upon himself to affect our past. It'd be really difficult to collect my feelings on that. It really would. Zell. Duet is a masterpiece. I've not even read all your comment. Duet is a goddamn masterpiece. Loved it. Me and Clayton, at the end of the day, we're going to run out of episodes to talk about, but we will talk about them again in the stream. Duet was Harris Yulin, wasn't it? Who played Guldar Hill, or not Guldar Hill. He tried to claim he was Guldar Hill, but he was Eamon Maritza, wasn't he? How I'm remembering all this stuff, I don't know. It's all in here. It's all retained. And he was Paris Union he's just such a wonderful job. What a great actor. God, I love Star Trek. I love these actors the guest actors are superb. They come in and do their freaking job. They're not senators. Fuck's sake. Love it. Yeah, Nana Visitor and the guest actor did a superb job. Sorry, Zell. It's like I'm not reading the whole comment. I'm not even aware of the whole comment. I start reading it and I just read the word duet, and I'm like, yeah. I instantly just look away and go, I love that episode. I didn't even read the rest of the comment, but yeah, looks like we're on the same page there, dude. Nana Visitor and the guest actor do a superb job. Wow, brilliant. We should do a live watch. Each pick a favourite episode and stream it together on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that, but I know it can be done because you're watching it together, aren't you? But not on the stream, but it's not showing on the stream. I think that's how it works. Otherwise, you get copyright struck. KKGC, you're not boring me, promise. All emotions in this show feel so genuine, which is rare these days. Well, it's all attempts to draw emotion out of you in any story is highly manipulative, isn't it? It's any emotional scene in any TV show uses a combination of musical score, great acting, great writing, great direction, great lighting, great visual style to really manipulate you into feeling something for something that's not real. That's what an emotional reaction is to a lot of the scenes and a lot of these a lot of shows and movies. That's how they do it. But it's all designed to help you feel something and maybe provoke an emotional response, a physical emotional response. And we all get that and we all understand it. But the story is paramount to that. It's key to that. Without that core element, that core written dialogue, the core scene building of the screenplay and the dialogue and the actor's performance, without all of that, without those three core pieces, an emotional scene it means nothing. It means nothing and it provokes nothing unless you're incredibly sensitive to, like, and randomly break down and cry over anything. And that's where New Trek fails. It doesn't have those core components, in my opinion. It doesn't have those core components but it tries the other manipulation tactics like musical score for every single scene in the episode, trying to it numbs you to it, and you're not anywhere near as affected by it as you normally would be. And that's where New Trek fails. It just does not resonate. It's out of frequency. There's just nothing there. No core to it. There's just blank emotional manipulation. I think that's why it fails, and I think that's why it just sucks. And of course the shipyards, and of course the Trek-sized elephant in the room, Way of the Warrior. Wow, Way of the Warrior had some balls on it, didn't it? It really did, didn't it? Because it wasn't the second part of a cross-season two-parter. It was, in it by its rights, a mini TV movie. It was a TV movie, just 2 episodes put together. But it was epic, wasn't it? It was the first time we really saw the capabilities of the station to defend itself and all this outfitting that it had, and it's brilliant. But it had some real balls on it, didn't it? It was going to undo the Kittim records that were formed in Undiscovered Country. It was just going to completely retract them and undo them, and destroy the Kittim records, causing a war with the Klingons. And a very, very, very good reason why. And it's very well. The motivations are very well laid out. I absolutely loved it. Um, and it not only that, it was going to destroy the Kids From records. It brought in another character from the next generation as a main character, Worf. Fucking epic character. I love Worf. He's brilliant. It and it flipped the Cardassians in a way. It had already been flipped in the two-parter with the Obsidian Order and Tal Shiar. It had already flipped it then, but it made the Cardassians almost a refugee people, people who are predominantly refugees, because the Cardassian Union was getting its ass handed to it, and suddenly it gotten his ass handed to it in the two-parter that I mentioned before, and it now you've got the Klingons wanting to invade, because the Klingons are invading because Cardassia is weak; it's in a weakened state, and the Klingons just go. They're like a bottled up predator or a caged predator. They need to get out and hunt and expand their empire. So yeah, it had some real balls on it. This two-parter, which I really enjoyed. But what made me laugh the hardest in retrospect is Cisco. It's me not realizing that was still Cisco, because he had a haircut and grew a beard. I think he actually lost some weight in his face, and I was like, is that the same actor? I mean, I was obviously younger when I first saw it, but that was phenomenal, wasn't it? What a change of the way a character looks. It was such a huge change, absolutely huge change. If you're watching the stream and you're new here, please like and subscribe. That would be really helpful. Hit that like button on the stream; it will help it move to different audiences as well. So thank you for that. But yeah, the change in Cisco's appearance was just it was pretty much it was a shock. It was a real shock. So yeah, I loved that episode. And Brando, I think Second Sight with Richard Kiley was a great guest star. Second Sight. Second Sight. You're gonna have to remind me of Second Sight. No, was it a Second Sight was season 2, was it? Is that the one where Cisco, she's a woman and it's something to do with his wife? I can't remember. And Explorers is an unrated one too. Explorers was one of the times where you saw the nice side of Ducat, and you kind of respected Ducat a little bit, because he had to, whether or not he was forced to or chose to, he accepted the fact that Bajorans were spacefaring before, or spacefaring to such a degree, you know, before Cardassians were really, and that's how the Bajorans became known. So really, the fact that the Bajoran exploration of space is really a cautionary tale at this point, wouldn't you say? A good father-son episode, which was a rare routine Trek. Yeah, you couldn't have that now, could you? Father figures are non-existent these days. Ridiculous. Agreed about New Trek. They need to learn that Burnham constantly crying doesn't make us cry. No, it doesn't. It makes us cringe, and it makes us think. It desensitizes us to anything like that, because you think, oh, she'd just cry if she broke a nail. She'd cry if the lights on the bridge on the consoles were the wrong color. You know, she'd cry if she couldn't get her own way. In fact, she often does. And why Block has the simpiest hard on for it, I don't know. I couldn't date someone who cries all the time over everything. Nuts. Magnificent Ferengi is an underrated episode that's pure fun to watch. I do apologise if I'm spitting my words out. My speech is getting worse these days, so I do apologise. I think I who knows? I may have something wrong in my head. You know, I'm having real problems with speech lately, so I'm trying to pronounce my s's properly. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The Magnificent Ferengi was a hugely entertaining episode, and I think it was a fitting end to Kievan, wasn't it? You know, well, especially when he gets shot and he's just like, "I hate Ferengi." And falls down. It's absolutely hilarious. It was so good, so good. I beg your pardon. I'm just checking messages. Okay, that's fine. My watch is dying as well. I better get that in charge later. So yeah, it was a superb episode, and the Ferengi. I didn't used to find the Ferengi massively funny with the way that they were on the first run of Deep Space Nine, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good, and it was like there's a couple of realizations that they have, especially when they've killed Kievan, and they go, and Kievan slaps the corpse slaps Nog or something, and he goes, "No, it's just a reflex or something like that. It's just and he goes, "Are you thinking?" You know, someone says, "Are you thinking?" Well, I'm thinking, and Nog goes, "Get me more neurostimulators." I was howling at that. It's so funny. And Quark saying, "Straighten him out, straighten him out." He just walks into the wall. Absolutely phenomenal episode. So funny. Iggy Pop was a great guest star, and what a trooper! It's not only did he do it in full makeup and everything, but he was ill during that. He was really ill, so his reactions to Quark are actually probably are probably quite genuine. He's genuinely angry because he's in full makeup and he's full of flu. He's really ill. And he was such a star for doing that. And you can tell it's Iggy Pop, you know, because you can tell it's just like perhaps one day, you know, the Ferengi can take their rightful place in the Dominion. You know, you can really tell it's Iggy Pop. Freaking brilliant. A new Way of the Warrior would wake him up. Look at him. Derpy derp, look at him go. Yeah. Yeah, that woke me up. Yeah, well done, well done. I think he changed his appearance for his Hawk show, or appearances for Spencer for Hire. Yeah, he didn't they not want him to resemble um one of his other characters? I think there's something to do with that. Arrogant scientist reignites a sun. Arrogant scientist reignites the sun. Is that with regards to Second Sight? Oh, I'm not sure. You get to see quite a lot of the Nebula class starship in Second Sight, which was that's firing some neurons. I may have to go and get my episode guide. I think I know which one you're on about. I'm fairly certain I've only seen that twice, so that's why I can't remember it. Yeah, the Nebula class. Nebula class was great. I love it. They just they kit bashed, didn't they? They took the saucer for they took the Galaxy class starship, ripped the drive section off, got rid of the neck, turned it upside down, and slapped it together. That's brilliant. Oh, fantastic! And then stuck a piece of pizza on the top. Fantastic. The uh the tetra again. I'm struggling to speak here, so I do apologise. The Tetrarch of Apathy Welcome, sir. Welcome to the stream. Clayton Rumley, my thoughts exactly. I noticed him at times laying a phaser rifle across his arm the way his Hawk character would. His long-barreled 357 Magnum. I named him Captain Hawk. Yeah. That episode with the arrogant Vulcan captain and the baseball game taught me a valuable life lesson. Was someone who's a complete douchebag, mock them mercilessly. Yeah, that episode wasn't very well received, was it? And I thought it was fairly cliche and fairly basic. But it was really there was parts of it that were really good. And I think, yeah, again, a valuable lesson. Star Trek's always about valuable lessons. It's telling a story and letting you make your mind up on what you think about it. And Sisko ultimately let his stubbornness and his ego get in the way. And then he learns at the end of it, if he just mocks him. At the end of the day, it's interesting to see that side of a Vulcan as well. With a Vulcan with a superiority complex was brilliant. the Odo yelling "Safe" got me to smile every time. Oh, Clayton, great Iggy Pop impression. I'm so sorry about that. I really am. Variable members of the meeting. Thank you, Clayton. You're gone. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was vaguely sort of reminiscent of. It was kind of like an Odo version of Frank Drebin in Naked Gun when he goes, "I cool," and then he's done. It just gets worse. I love those films. Brilliant. I love the fact that they put baseball caps on the Ferengi as well. Yeah, aren't they massive? They're massive baseball caps. the tailor made is brilliant. Oh, yeah. Odo doing the it's when he's in the office and Kira walks past and it's like she falls in love with him all over again because he puts the pad down and goes safe. Fucking brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And again, a great character moment where she walks past and she sees him doing this ridiculous thing, or what other people would think was ridiculous. She finds it loving and endearing, lovely and endearing, and kind of you can see it in her face. She loves him, and Star Trek's Star Trek's about so many different things, and she's able to mate, tell you. Beautiful moment, just there. She doesn't think he's being a prat. She just thinks he's adorable because he's really trying. And I love the fact that Sisko selected him as the umpire. It was brilliant. Oh God, I've got face ache. I've been smiling so much. Thank you guys. I needed this tonight. It's been a bit tough last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's nice to have a good laugh with you all. So thank you. It's brilliant. Some great episodes. Nikki Cunningham, welcome. How are you? It's good to have you here. DS9 is top #1 all time of any Star Trek. It's a subjective opinion, but I'll tell you what, I completely agree. I love DS9. Don't get me wrong, I like all the Star Trek shows pre-2005. Clarification not needed, I know, but pre-2005, I like all the Star Trek shows. But I like them all for very different reasons. I like each one for very different reasons. Quark is great. Quark is the great. Never once changes his tune. Same guy from start to finish. And doesn't he utter the line in the final episode? Morn. That's right. What they say. The more things change, the more things stay the same. And he is the one who stays the same. Yeah, he is the one who he even states it in the previous episode, the episode where Ron gets made the Nagus. He says, you know, there will be one piece of Ferenginar left in this bar. This represents all Ferengi. I think it's brilliant. So yeah, Nikki, you're absolutely right there. It's great to have you here, by the way. You know what? I'm just going to call you apathy. I can't say tetrarch of apathy. I've got such a tongue, such a diabetic tongue. It's horrible. Just the way my mind wanders, I often wondered. Cisco's hero, Buck Buckeye of the London Kings, that was London, Ontario, Canada, or London, England. I would say, well, Buck Buckeye's baseball, isn't he? We don't really do baseball in England. I don't think so. So I imagine that would be the former there. Oh my god! Remember that episode when he and Odo were stranded? Ah, the ascent. Yeah, again, superb. What a superb episode that was as well. You know, it's the fact that they fight, and that's ultimately what makes it so much harder for them to escape. And Quark, yeah, it's a great episode. It's just a superb episode. Could also be London, Arkansas, London, Kentucky, or there's a lot of Londons about. Is what I'm getting from this. Nikki Cunningham, great to be here, big fan. Oh, bless you, thank you so much. I always watch your Star Trek reviews. Oh, you're wonderful, thank you. I love everybody who comes here. Absolutely phenomenal. Forgot how many places took that name. Yeah, it's wonderful. I love you all to bits. You're all fantastic people. And you know, you hear about YouTube being a bit of a dark place here, here and there, and I do get some negativity towards the channel, but you know what, I absolutely love the guys who subscribe to my channel. It's so nice to have you here. It's like a little community of friends that I have outside of my life. You know, it's really nice. And some, like I say, I'll talk to anyone off stream, through any other other platform. I'll gladly have a conversation with you all, because it's great. I just love how Morn witnesses all of his depravity and never snitches. Morn is the ultimate ride or die. Isn't Morn I'm sure Morn's like it's based on Cheers. It's from a character from Cheers, isn't he? Norm. Yeah, so it's Norm backwards. No, it's Norm. It's a call it. You know what I mean? It's Norm. He's always at the bar, so it's Morn. So it's a Cheers reference. Brilliant. Yeah, and Morn. I love the fact that Morn's made out to be such a chatterbox, but we never once hear him speak. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's good to remember the good times and hope we'll see them again in the future. I sincerely hope so. Anagram, thank you. Norm from Cheers, thank you. Yeah, anagram, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Thankfully, I didn't actually say what I was about to say, which would have been just the wrong word. Love how we always say he never shuts up. Yeah, sorry. This is how I feel I'm in tune with all of you, because I'm not reading your comments, I'm speaking and they're matching the comments. It's really weird. Yeah. He never shuts up, you never hear him speak. And when we looks like we're gonna get the opportunity to hear him speak, Quark stops him. I'm going, I don't want to know. We do, we want to hear him more and speak. And you know, do you think he has like a low pitched voice, like Jabba the Hutt, you know, ho 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 ho, You think he's sort of like, or do you think it's been slightly more helium? You know, it's a slightly higher tone of voice like me. You know, that'd be funny. Do you think DS9 would have been better with Laren taking Kira's role as it was supposed to be? That is a damn good question, Nikki. I don't know. But he has a really high pitched voice. I'll get to that point in a minute. But he has a really high pitched voice. Hello, Quark. I don't know what he'd say other than "Hello, Quark." I'll have a Sumerian sunset. I'll have a Sumerian sunset, please. Imagine he sound like a walrus, but they probably make him high pitched just for the funny. Yeah, hello. I can't actually go high pitched. My voice is so mid range. I can't go deep and I can't go high pitched. I can go deep when I've got like a throat infection or like a chest infection. I'd be like, hello. Do you think DS9 would have been better with Ro Laren taking Kira's role as it was supposed to be? Well, no. At the end of the day, they needed to keep Ro Laren on the back burner for Star Trek Season 3. No, all jokes aside, it's always easy to say that oh, I wonder what it would have been like with Ro Laren. I keep saying that wrong, but I think I would say I can only say that I would think that I prefer to have Kira because we'd already gotten a bit of Ro Laren, and if you bring too many characters from the Next Generation, then the Next Generation it doesn't really stand. It can't really stand on its own because it's just borrowing some characters. I think it needed. I think it was right to keep Kira. I think it was right to have Kira. I preferred Kira. I think it bugged me when they had his race in Discovery in the future. Jesus Christ! I think I'd forgotten that. I honestly think I'd forgotten that, Clayton. You've just reminded me. Oh, but they were all hairless like Morn. DS9 said Morn lost his hair because he ingested all of that latinum. Yeah, his hair fell out because he ingested latinum and he's been keeping it in his second stomach, and that can't do very good things to you. Oh my god, I got a super chat. I will get to that. Zell. Thank you so much for that super chat. Let me just oh, you know what? Fuck it. This is what super chats are for. You've jumped the queue. So thank you very much for that super chat. That's very nice of you. So nice to remember the good times. So many great episodes that make me smile and totally rewatchable. Oh, 100%. 100%, mate. Completely agree with you. And welcome to the chat, Admiral Teague. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It's great to have you here. Everybody say hi to Teague. It's really good to have him here. Shipyards. I think Ro would have made the transition from TNG to DS9 more smoother, but ultimately now it's just own the role. Yeah, I think yeah, it would have been smoother, but I don't think there wouldn't have been anything new, would there? Really, I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, good to see you too, Admiral T. Thank you so much for coming. Have you read any of the tie-in novels? There is one with the rock monsters from TOS, Devil in the Dark, and the Millennium Trilogy. It's one of my favourite Trek novel things. I've got several Star Trek books. I have read approximately 5% of them. I'm making my way through them. So chances are, no, I've not read that one. Nicky Cunningham, very true. Great point. It would have made DS9 a little too much like TNG 2.0. Yeah, and it needed to be... I think it needed to be its own thing. Zell claps. Yeah, thank you, Zell. It is very, very generous of you. Greetings, Admiral. Yes, well, thank you, Teague. It's good to have you here on my stream. So yeah, guys, if you want to go over to Admiral Teague, check his channel out, subscribe, give him some help. He's a great YouTuber and a lot of fun. Great to have a conversation with as well. And you know, he discovered me completely by accident. So I did a whole video on me. So thank you very much for that, Teague. Shipyards. The fact that Duet is such an amazing episode really has a lot to do with Nana Visitor's performance. She really proved herself worthy early on. Yeah, absolutely. And you imagine the pressure of having to play alongside Harris Yulin. Imagine that pressure. And you know that you'd have to be good. You'd have to be good. And that would be some insane pressure. But what a job she did! What a job both of them did! What a superb episode of television. I love how passionate Harry Yulin gets. You know, he absolutely brilliant, absolutely smashing. Zell, you are a legend. Thank you. I'm going to keep saying thank you because you don't have to super chat. You really don't, but it's so great that you do. I love it. I feel like the Admiral T. I feel like the DS9 is so many people's favourite Trek show because the writers were responsive to criticism from the fans at the time. Namely, the show needed more characters and a ship, and they listened. Yeah, I said this earlier on, Teague. I said that it was quite limiting. There was a limited return with having a show set solely on a space station, and not being able to go out and explore, you know, space, and having instead having characters and new races come to you. There's a kind of a limited potential there. So I felt that yeah, they did respond very well to fans, but they also kind of had to up the ante for the show a little bit and get them out there in space. And the Defiant was a fine ship to be able to do that. Nikki Cunningham, the motherfucking Cisco. Yeah. You are the Cisco. Thanks for the kind words. My friend, you're very welcome. You've been more than kind to me, so thank you very much for that. I feel like, Shipyards, I feel like we must mention how dirty they did Terry Farrell. Yeah, but there was I watched the documentary. My God, my words! I watched the documentary, and there seemed to be two sides to that, didn't there? And they sort of showed each side. Terry Farrell felt like she was being pushed out, and the guys running the show felt that she was wanting to go. So it really makes you wonder what actually went on. One of the limitations of the final season was that I had to spend so much time establishing Esri Dax. Yeah, although Nicole de Boer, I call her Nicole de Freur. I did have a thing for Esri Dax. Not so much anymore, but I did have a thing for Esri Dax. She did so well in the role, but makes you wonder what they could have written. There's only one time that Nicole de Boer did not nail it for me, and that's when she attempted to burst into tears in, I believe, the third episode, one where she is working with Garrick, trying to get him through his problem, and Garrick insults her, and she breaks down crying. I think that was some very bad acting on her behalf. I don't like to put people down, but I didn't. I felt more cringe rather than any emotion on that one. But she was a great character. Makes you wonder what they could have written. Yes, makes you wonder what they could have written. If I always wonder what DS9, the final season of DS9, would have been like if Jadzia Dax, if Terry Farrell had stayed on. Nikki Cunningham, I love DS9 because it's totally different thing. even its own evil aliens. I love the frontier town Wild West thing it has going on. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's pretty much on the edge of. It's not even in Federation space, Deep Space Nine. It's in Bajoran space, and it is. It is the frontier, so it's superb. And I think the whole wormhole thing to another quadrant was fantastic idea. Superb, spot on. There's some bangs going on outside. I think someone's demolishing their garage by the sounds of it. If they didn't have to develop Esri so much, yeah, absolutely. Zell, I'll always super chat. Got to support grassroots. You know, I love you and always try to make you laugh. Oh, dude, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Zell. It's always so nice to have kind people here. It really is, and you're all great. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'd make an entire YouTube video just saying how much I love you guys. It'd be brilliant. I say why I love my subscribers because you're all just great people. You really are. And I don't think I'm at the point where I need too many mods. But if you do want a spanner, let me know, and I shall on an upcoming stream I shall sort you out with a spanner. Make you excuse me, a moderator. Cypher Shipyard. For fuck's sake, they even get Core, Koloth, and Kang great send-offs, didn't they? Just gay. Yeah, it's a say it in the Shaun of the Dead. All right, gay. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't care though. I'll say it how I feel it, brother. So Esri is hotter and had better character development in my opinion. The actress still looks amazing. Maybe she's old enough to be my mum. I wouldn't say no. Oh, mama. How old is Nicole de Beer? I really want to check this now. How old is Nicole de Beer? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a Google. Nicole Papa de Beer. Canadian actress. Oh yeah, she's still absolutely stunning, isn't she? Absolutely stunning. When was she born? She's 52. Get fucked. She's not 52. She looks hella pretty for 52. Mind you, 52 is still young, isn't it? Admiral Teague with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Unnecessary, but very much appreciated. I believe that is a little super sticker as well. I'm not familiar, but thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. That is, like I said, completely unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Thank you. You're a legend. At Sci-Fi Shipyards, it's not gay if we don't make eye contact. It's not gay if we don't make eye contact. Brilliant. Admiral Teague, hey everybody, please take a moment to hit those like and follow buttons for your pal UK Danish Man reviews. Thank you very much. Touching swords is Sci-Fi Shipyard. Ooh, it's getting raunchy. Nikki Cunningham, I love the Vic Fontaine episodes. This show just hit so hard. So many great characters. Yeah, absolutely. Superb episodes. It's superb characters. Yeah, Vic Fontaine. He got a mixed reception, really, but I did enjoy Vic Fontaine. I thought Vic's best episode was definitely the one where he helped Nog through his rehabilitation. That was superb. That was fantastic. Admiral Teague, well earned, my friend. Enjoying the stream. Thank you very much, sir. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm going to try and look at the camera as much as possible, but distance. Nikki Cunningham, it's still. Yeah, mini sword fights. It's still pretty gay. Crossing the streams. It's only a paper moon. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Crossing the streams. You never cross the streams, pal. It just doesn't end well. It's only a paper moon. Yeah, yeah, it's phenomenal. And again, my hat goes off to Aaron Eisenberg in that scene. In that his performance was brilliant. And when he's breaking down, he's saying, "It happened to me. It happened to me. I didn't think it could, but it happened to me." You know, if I can lose a leg, then that is I could die. It's that realization that he is vulnerable. He's not, and it's the same. It's the same feeling we all have. The being invulnerable, being immortal. When we're faced with our own mortality, and we have a near-death experience or a close shave. It's like when you nearly have a car accident and everything goes into slow-mo, or when you do have a car accident, everything goes into slow motion, and it's that realization that I could have died. I've had a few moments in my life when I realized I could have died, and I nearly had a collision in my car a few weeks ago. I was turning into work, and there's a very high-speed road on the turning to where I work, and very early in the morning you've got like a slip road coming in, and you don't know whether the cars are going into work on the opposite way, or they're in the fast lane. So you've got to really judge it. And my God, I had such a close call, because I thought he was in the slip road, but he wasn't. He was in the fast lane, and it was such a close call. And your life kind of flashes before your eyes a little bit, and everything. And I digress anyway. The story was fantastic. The writing was just spot on. But Aaron Eisenberg fucking nailed it. He fucking nailed it. It was beautiful, beautiful piece of acting. Brilliant. And like Egon said, it's not so bad. Yeah. And Brando, Ira Stephen Burr hated having to do holodeck episodes on TNG. He said they spent more time in there than in space. Yet, when DS9 did a holodeck stuff, they hit it out of the park. Yeah, true, very much. Nikki Cunningham, would you ever consider doing individual episode reviews of Deep Space Nine? Yeah, I have considered it, Nikki. I really have. But it's my style of reviews are off the cuff. I find it so natural speaking to you all about Deep Space Nine. I really do, and talking to you on streams is brilliant. I haven't tried doing a review. I've tried doing one review, and that was for Measure of a Man, and I couldn't make it work. I couldn't get the words out. I could, I feel like I'd have to script it. It'd be a very different type of review. It would be very much like the Discovery video I did a week or so ago. It would be that format. So if everyone would be all right with that, I might choose to do it. But it's very difficult for me to script a video. If that Discovery video took a lot of work to get to write up, and I'm not a huge writer. My warp core is about to breach. Gotta get to my escape pod, peeps. Cheers for another great live stream, Danger Man. Fare thee well, y'all. Nikki, we should do a live episode review as a group. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, now I'm out. Pop. Sci-Fi Shipyards, you're a legend. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for coming, and you look after yourself, sir. And yeah, I'd be up for that, definitely. But yeah, they're not easy videos to make. A lot of the editing can take quite a while. But the last video, the Discovery one, that's done really well. It's leveled out, of course. It's not really going anywhere now. But it did really well for a good time. It was almost like it was starting to make inroads, and then it halted. Kind of like Razorfist does with his DS9 reviews. It's him and a friend just talking through scene by scene. Yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd be up for that. And I think we're going to. I'm going to do a live stream with Clayton, and we're going to go through our favourite episodes. And like I say, I'll hell, you guys are more than welcome to come on to streams with me. And we can talk about it, discuss it. I know Zell is interested, so we'll be doing one. I'll just do streams with all of you. Fuck it. It's great. The Tetrarch of Apathy. The tongue's not working. I'll still always wish they ended the war earlier so we could really explore the Gamma Quadrant. I don't trust the new creators to do it now. You imagine the Gamma Quadrant is an entirely new region of space, and Dominion space does not surround the wormhole. Dominion space is near the wormhole, but it doesn't surround the wormhole. So there's still plenty of Gamma Quadrant left to explore, and I think that would be really good. If they, I think that would have been really good if they managed to do that. But unfortunately, the war sort of took over, and I understand where they went with it. They wanted to cover war and the Federation being at war and humans, future humans being at war. So I get where they were going with it and what they were doing with it, but it's unfortunate. But I don't trust the new creatives to do it either. Yeah, I've been streaming for 2 hours 21 minutes. I'm gonna go to about. It's only been 2 hours 21 minutes. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, well, I think I'll go to about 9 probably, maybe a little later. But yeah, some DS9. The DS9 was great. I loved it, and I think that one actor in particular, I think deserves fucking just an award for doing so much in Star Trek. And that's Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs is just brilliant. He always plays the same, not type of character, but he always plays the same personality. It's kind of devious. You know what I mean? He's always slightly cocky and it's just his mannerisms. They're brilliant. If you if you look at his character of Brunt, for example, and his character of Wayun, they both say Dominion exactly the same. The Dominion. They always have that sort of slight slur, or slur to their speech. The Dominion, and I thought that he played it so well. He played both characters so well. It was in DS9. I mean, obviously it was in Enterprise as well, but let's just keep it to DS9. And he played the alien that, funnily enough, wanted Kira's likeness without Quark's head on it. Oh man, Jeffrey Combs. I think my favourite Combs is Shran. Shran's fantastic. Shran is great, but he's Enterprise. I want to focus on DS9, but yes, Shran is fantastic. I tell Archer that's 2 years me. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Wayun, I think, is probably his best. Brunt is fantastic, but Wayun in his own way is ruthless and unpleasantly pleasant. If that makes sense. He's unpleasantly pleasant. He's the sort of person that could be really nice to you one moment and then flip on a dime and suddenly you're being executed by the Jem'Hadar. He's someone who doesn't really fuck about. And Brando in the Pale Moonlight is the highest rated episode of DS9 on IMDb with a 9.4 out of 10. And the Light is the Berman era Trek with a high score of 9.5. In the Pale Moonlight, again, what a legendary episode of television that was. Because it's the how far would you go to secure a victory and to win a war, or how far would you go to violate your morals or corrupt your morals, to live with a stain on your soul for the greater good and to win a war. Beautiful. And so very well done. And I love Garak in that. He's brilliant, isn't he? It's where he says to the aliens, it's like, why don't you return to your quarters and I'll pop by later to say hello. And you think, if I was that alien, I'd just be like, oh, fuck, you're going to kill me, aren't you? Just the way he says it, you know instantly what's coming. And there's, I'll be by later to say hello. And oh no, I'm dead, aren't I? Imagine that. Oh, Garak. I suppose Garak is one of the characters we've not really spoken too much about, and I will get into Garak. That was a Freudian slip. I will cover Garak. What if DS9 did Interstellar before Interstellar? The prophets are actually the Bajorans from the future that have evolved into fifth-dimensional beings. Their interference in events ensures they exist. Pardon my language, but holy fuck, Zell, that is an incredible thing to think about, isn't it? That's an incredible concept. Holy crap. Dude, where did that come from? That's phenomenal. Hello, Embrando at Tetrarch of Apathy. Oh, get that name right. Nikki Cunningham, this stream is going to make me go on a binger. Oh, yeah, me too. Me too, definitely. Thank you, Admiral T, for saying hi to everybody. It's really good interaction. I like this. Garak has some kind of weird attraction to Julian. Yeah, and a lot of you, a lot of people have this fascination with the relationship between Garak and Bashir, and I've covered this in the previous stream. But a lot of the younger generation are all saying, "Oh yeah, he's gay for they're gay for each other." I don't think it is. I think with Garak, Bashir's kind of a plaything. He's kind of a plaything, and Garak toys with him, teases him a little bit. There's no attraction there. I don't think there's an attraction there. I think it's there's some mutuality there. I really think it's it's not what people are twisting the whole relationship between Garak and Bashir. I love the relationship between them because it's a proper it's like it is a proper friendship, but there's no trust there. You wouldn't trust Garak, would you? Salute you, Admiral Teague, on behalf of my fleet. It's a theory that I've had for a while since I watched Interstellar. Yeah, that's thinking outside the box, mate. From one admiral to another, I accept it and send the compliments of all my captains in the fleet, my friend. Is Garak just fond of unnerving Julian? I think there's a bit of superiority there, isn't there? There's power with secrets, and he's full of them, and he's got this young, green, eager individual who finds him mysterious. And in some ways, I think for Garrick that helps him because he's exiled and alone, and somebody is really interested in him. Where and other people fear him, or most other people fear him because he's a Cardassian. They think he's a spy, and they are very suspicious and negatively uh, suspicious of him. And he is, I think he is, he enjoys the kind of attention that Bashir gives him, but um, he's also, I think, he's very fond of him because he probably, um, I know, I can't finish that sentence. He's, I think he's very fond of him, but I think he is, because he's exiled. There's a little bit. There's an individual who doesn't judge him as a Cardassian who you know, whose race was responsible for atrocities. There, he sees them as, he sees him as an interesting person full of secrets and mystery. So I think that's where, and Brando, I think Bashir fascinates him. I think he likes the fact that Bashir finds him intriguing, and not in a gay way, but in a he's full of mysteries, and he can impress some youth. He can feel impressive because he is alone on that station, in terms of exile. So, and Brando Julian is absolutely Garrick's favourite Starfleet officer. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So yeah, but Garrick is an amazing character in himself. Um, I think hugely funny, very amusing, and very. He's got his own set of morals, hasn't he? He's got no problem with killing people. Clearly, you know, he's got no problem for doing that. But he has his own set of morals, um, and the Cardassians are, I think, are a great people because if you think it, then it's just being cold blooded. That's or you know, the blood's not warm. It's why they're essentially, their skin tone is grey because they just have no colour in their flesh. They're very cold. They're kind of like they're kind of reptilian in that sense of they're just they're it's like their homeworld is very sort of dark, bland, plain. Their fashion styles, their uniforms are all very cold and sterile. They're fascinating people, and obviously the majority of Cardassians are um, the way that they've structured their society and the way that they are. A lot of Cardassians are very just very cold people. I find that interesting. I love I love I love Garrick as a character. He's superb. Admiralty, I'm an admiral with the 106th Fleet on Star Trek Online, making Starfleet great. We believe in mining the wormhole and making the Cardassians pay for it. That's very good. I am mere 10 minutes from having to end the stream because I have work tomorrow, but you may feel free to just throw questions at me, throw comments at me, whatever you want to do. I no longer have it, says Tetrarch of Apathy, but Andrew Robinson co-authored a DS9 novel with a Garrick origin story. This is surprisingly good. It's titled A Stitch in Time. I may have that one. May have that one. I have to look now. You're gonna make me pull out my cabinet and have a look. So yeah, 10-minute warning for the stream ending. Let's get some more comments in. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about Deep Space Nine. I will, and I'll cover. Myself and Clayton will do a favorite episodes as well. And look, you guys, if you want to appear on the channel, if you want to do a stream with me, I'd be more than happy to. There is a queue forming, believe it or not, but I'll be more than happy to have a conversation beforehand, get to know one another, check everything's okay, you know, check that you know, just it's like a, I suppose like a just a pre-check, and we have a nice conversation, and then we can go for it on stream. If any of you want to do that, just how would you do it? You can email me. My email's on the YouTube channel, and I've got a Facebook page, UK Dangerman Games, Movies, Videos, or Reviews, or whatever it is. Just look it up. It is there on the old Facebook. And I'd love to have conversations with you guys. How we could have a StreamYard stream. You're making me want to explore my theory further. Go full conspiracy mode, mate. To be fair, I think that's a fine theory. Fine theory. Zell just a pseudonym for Captain Benjamin Maxwell? Maxwell did nothing wrong. And Brandon, I can't wait for Disco's final season so I can start watching your reviews of it. I hope you plan to review it. Mate, I absolutely 110,000 billion% intend to review Star Trek Discovery Season 5. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm looking forward to it, doing videos on it, because I need more laughs. I need more laughs in my brain. And it's going to be a colossal clusterfuck. And we all know it is. Either that, or it'll pull up Picard's Season 3 and be not as bad as what came before. But you imagine it. Imagine it. Fatigue, maybe. But yeah, I absolutely plan to review Discovery. Hell yeah. What, there's a Season 5 Star Trek Discovery. If you didn't know, KKG, there is a Season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. It has been confirmed. And I think I did a video on it, because Season 5 is its final season. There's no more seasons after that. The video is on my channel, where I did a reaction to the news. But yes, we are getting a Season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. And yes, oh no is exactly right. But in terms of the channel, it'd be great. It'll be fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing that, because I know it's going to be a heap of crap, and I'm going to have a right laugh. But if they do somehow manage to change the format and it is good, I will tell you guys if it's good, and watch as my channel burns. We're just what we need. More STDs. Danger Man's already getting the itch. Oh mate, they're good. It's spreading as well. The William did it as a top 10 TNG episode. I think STD 5 is just part 2 of season 4. Well, it might be, yeah. It probably will be, to be fair, but they promised more action, and that's exactly what we want to see in Star Trek, isn't it? More action. Don't get me wrong, bit of action never hurt anybody. DS9 was full of it, but DS9 was full of great stories as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I'm salivating for Star Trek Discovery Season 5. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that I don't think that actually any review from now on will match the way will match the level of depression I nearly slipped into after reviewing the musical episode. That video that I made on that day that the musical episode of Strange New Worlds came out, that video, I was broken. As a Star Trek fan, it was a bad day anyway, but I was broken. It just broke me. Think of how many characters from STD were only in half the episodes of season 4, and it makes sense it's one season bloated into 2. Yeah, that's true. That's true. it was. Yeah, the background characters don't matter. That's what point I made in my last video, mate. It is the background characters don't matter. We don't even remember half of their names. We don't even remember half of their names. That's a big problem. Big problem. A few more minutes, guys. A few more minutes, and Danger Man will be out of here. But yeah, it's been great talking to you all. And like I said, stay in touch, and I'll talk to you all. You're all great people. All great people, and it's great to have you here. It really is. I like doing these little streams because it's my chance to talk to you all, and my chance to have a good laugh. And it has been a good laugh. It's been great. It's really cheered me up. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, awesome. You can tell I'm getting tired because I'm getting quiet. Yeah. Like I say, I do have work in the morning. Short day, but still early start, and I'll have to get to bed soon. Clayton Rumley had to disappear for a bit for work stuff. Came back at the end. Great stream as always. Clayton, it is a genuine pleasure to have you on every time, mate. It's great to have you here. And to all of you, I'm going to try and say it one more time. The Tetrarch of Apathy, Sci-Fi Shipyards, Clayton Rumley, KKGC, Embrando, Sci-Fi Shipyards, Nikki Cunningham, thank you so much for coming. It's great to talk to you as always. Zell, brilliant. Embrando, thank you. Admiral Teague, great to have you here. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you both for the super chats. That was absolutely phenomenal. And let's see who else. Matthew Ross, thank you for joining. Patrick, thank you. Great to have you here. Bog Body as well, thank you. Just so many people, so many great people. Thank you. Thanks for the stream. And Brando says, thanks for the stream. You helped me through my second bout of COVID. Oh, my friend, not the dreaded C. Not the dreaded, well, that's the modern dreaded C, should I say. The dreaded CV, COVID. Oh, been over a year since I had it last. I'll be honest with you, mate, and this is, I don't want to make you feel bad, or feel worse. I have been around so many people who have had COVID. My family have gone through it twice. My kids have had it twice. My wife has had it twice. People I've worked with in the offices, and the work environments I've been in have had it. We had three serious outbreaks at my last job, and I have never had COVID. Well, I've never tested positive for COVID. I've never gone through any of the COVID symptoms. Quite honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on. There are times, of course, when you used to get paid for being off with COVID that I actually kind of thought, well, you know, if I caught it, it wouldn't be that bad because I get some free time off work. But my sympathy goes to you, mate. It really does. It's not. I hate getting colds, but then I think I've had colds for most of my life, and I think I'm just past having colds now, and apparently catching COVID, which is a lot. I know a lot worse. But God bless Tetrarch of Apathy. I'll finally get your name right. Exercise my tongue enough. God bless, live long and prosper. Thank you very much for that. And dude, condolences on getting the Kung Flu. Yeah, well, it's still doing its rounds. It's still doing its rounds, but you know, I think we've managed to develop quite a immunity to it. I had the Italian variant COVID-19 kicked my ass. I had Omicron in 21. Not as bad. Jesus, yeah, mate, yeah. Anyone who catches it, you've got my sympathies. But it's just I don't know. Maybe it believes I'm some sort of Chuck Norris. I don't know. I'm definitely not, by the way. All right. Okay. I'm running a bit over. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. I am going to probably go for a giant cigarette, and then I'm going to go to bed. You guys, look after yourselves. Please look after yourselves. Love to you all, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I will see you very soon. I'll see when I can find some time to do another stream. I mean, love to you all. Thank you, Admiralty. Thank you, Zell. Thank you, Tetrarch. Thank you, Clayton. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, everybody. Genuinely, thank you for coming. Thank you for the super chat. You guys rock. Love you all. Take care. Bye bye for now. As soon as I can find the end button. Where's the end button? Take care. Love you all. Thank you. Bye bye.